Hi everyone! I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Elizabeth Larson and I'll be your instructor for Sociology 323 this semester. So here's a little bit more information about me. So my family and I live in Pleasant Grove, Utah. My husband Garrett is a mechanical engineer. He works for a company called Blend Tech. You may have seen their Will It Blend videos. He's also just a really funny guy. He is very kind, very service oriented. He's my best friend and he is awesome. We have 3 children. My oldest, Miles, is 8 years old. He is just a really funny kid. He's very creative. He likes to write his own stories. He likes computers. He likes to play soccer and just come up with all sorts of fun games for our family to play. My daughter Molly is 5. She is in kindergarten. She is really into anything arts related. She loves making all kinds of projects. My house is always covered in cut paper and crayons and markers. She also enjoys dancing and loves playing with her friends. And then my youngest, Elliot, will turn 3 in about 3 weeks here. He is the sweetest little boy. He is a good buddy to his older siblings. He loves anything with wheels. Cars 3 was a big thing for him. And he's just a very loving little boy. I have a few hobbies when I'm not teaching online, so not a lot of time. Most of my time is for teaching, but a few things that I love to do. I love crossword puzzles. I do the New York Times crossword puzzle every day. I started when I was in college and have kept going ever since. I love to cook. I love to bake. I love to make up my own recipes. A recent one that I came up with, I enter them into recipe contests, was these roasted butternut squash tacos. They're very tasty. In terms of baking, I love the show, the Great British Baking Show, and I always like to pretend that I can bake as well as the people on that show. I really can't, but I like trying a lot of new stuff. It's a lot of fun. I sew a lot. My big project this past winter was coat making, so I made a coat for me and a coat for my little girl. I put in the picture of my little girl, much cuter than I am, so there she is in her purple coat. Purple was her big request. I also love reading. I love nonfiction. I love fiction. 2 of my recent recommendations, things I really like, are Irresistible, which is all about technology and how it keeps you addicted to it. When I read it, I'm always like, oh, I need to stop checking Instagram so often, and then I fall back into bad habits. So New Year's, maybe I should read it again, get me back in the swing of things. A fiction book I love is called A Gentleman in Moscow. It's about a man right at the Russian Revolution who's a noble, but because he's written a poem that is sympathetic to the revolution, he, instead of being murdered, is given house arrest in this very luxurious hotel. It's a charming book. It's long, but I really enjoyed it. And another thing that I love is learning about different countries, learning about different cultures. I love to travel. I don't really travel very much because I have 3 small kids, but I did go on a study abroad when I was an undergraduate to London. This picture is actually in France at a place called Mont Saint-Michel. But it was a wonderful trip. It was one of the places that we went, and I loved it so much. If you have an opportunity to do study abroad, I'd really recommend it. And until then, I guess my husband and I will travel again when our kids are a little bit older. How I got into sociology, I was a social studies teaching major as an undergraduate, so I took Sociology 111. While I was at BYU, and I enjoyed the class, but I didn't think I was going to do anything more with it. Then I took the Teaching Diverse Students class, and it was taught by a sociology instructor. And I really enjoyed it, and then she asked if anyone would be interested in being a research assistant, working with a project she was doing on school choice in Salt Lake City, and I thought that sounded really interesting, and that's when I realized that I loved doing sociology research. I loved thinking about things from the point of view of all of society. If you get an opportunity to work as a research assistant for someone, I'd also really recommend that. It was one of the best things that I did as an undergraduate. It really prepared me for graduate school and helped me find something that I loved learning more about. So I love this class that we're taking. I love it so much. My hope is that it leaves you more prepared to interact with people in your communities, but also really to just love and understand the people in the church, in your wards, to be able to build community and understanding. And I love that there's so much variety in what we cover, that there's, I think, something that applies to everyone. I'm so excited to learn more about you and your interests and your experiences, and I'm really looking forward to this semester. Thanks.